This is KVUE News Midday.
The Trump administration open to wider retaliation against Syria, their new push to remove the country's divisive leader. Flooding in Texas, storms leaving us high and dry, but they settled over the Waco area. A look at the damage and the flooding left behind this morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Terry Gruca. Thanks for joining us. Those storms pounding the Waco area, just missing us. We're seeing some storms starting to pop up here right now. This is a live look over Marble Falls, where you can see lots of green today after all that rain fell through the hill country. Let's get a look at what we're tracking right now with Storm Team meteorologist Erica Lopez. Had some pretty heavy showers right here, Erica. That's right, and a couple severe thunderstorm warnings that are currently in effect for the Austin metro area, Hays County, and also Travis County. Marble Falls, though, that shot, they were in the middle of some heavy rain. That rain has now moved further to the east. That's exactly where that severe thunderstorm warning is currently in effect. So here's warning number one: Hays County, Travis County, Williamson County, in effect until 11 a.m. Now, the good news is that we're staying up to date with the National Weather Service, and they think they're going to let this warning expire because we're not seeing necessarily any hail associated with this storm anymore. Some lightning and, yes, heavy rainfall at times. Where we are going to continue to see the severe thunderstorm warning will be in the Dripping Springs area. This is in effect a little bit longer as we are monitoring a stationary front that's pretty much just draped across our viewing area. So a lot going on in terms of weather. We'll continue to have your latest and follow these storms. I'll be tracking how much rain we begin to accumulate throughout Travis County into Hays County because it's been quiet so far, and also talking about some flooding concerns. Areas just to the north of us here across the Austin metro area received up to 10 inches. So I'll touch on that in your full forecast. Terry, back to you. Be careful if you have to be outdoors this afternoon, Erica. Thank you. Overnight, strong storms missed our area and settled over Waco. Sheet metal was blown around near this house in Mart, and the winds left power lines leaning. There was a tornado warning in effect, but no confirmation that an actual tornado touched down. And check out this video in Belton. This is near downtown. Heavy rain caused flooding along the Leon River. There are also reports of flooding in Killeen, and they're still dealing with that this morning. A 23-year-old man from Guatemala is facing criminal charges in connection to a deadly shooting in southeast Austin last week. The Lone Star Fugitive Task Force arrested Jose Morales on Friday. He's accused of firing multiple shots at two men fighting over parking spaces at a nightclub back on April 6th. One of the men died from his wounds. Immigration officials say Morales has no legal status in the United States. Today, 4 Austin police officers are on leave after shooting a man in East Austin Friday night. 4 officers shot at 31-year-old Lawrence Parrish at a home on Parliament Drive. Police say Parrish had a rifle in his hand and at one point raised it and pointed it at the officers. Initially, police reported that he fired it, but now they say he did not. Parrish survived, but has been charged with aggravated assault against a public servant. Police in Baytown say the man who shot and killed a deputy constable last week killed himself the next day. Investigators say this man, William Kenny, ambushed Assistant Chief Clint Greenwood outside the county courthouse as he arrived for work. Police say Kenny killed himself with the same gun used to kill Greenwood. Investigators are still investigating why he would have targeted the deputy constable. Secretary of State's Rex Tillerson has touched down in Moscow as he prepares for meetings with high-level Russian officials. Those talks come and new tensions with Russia over U.S. strikes in Syria in response to Bashar al-Assad allegedly using chemical weapons against his own people. ABC's Janae Norman with the latest as tensions rise.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson arrived in Russia just days after the U.S. launched 59 missiles in Syria, a nation Russia has rushed to defend.
Our missile strike in response to his repeated use of banned weapons was necessary.
Amid accusations the Bashar al-Assad regime used chemical weapons to attack his own people, lawmakers in Washington are accusing Russia of complicitly standing by.
I believe that Russia knew about the chemical weapons because they were operating from exactly the same base.
And now the White House is backpedaling on just how far it's willing to go in Syria and where the so-called red line sits for President Trump. First, Press Secretary Sean Spicer saying it's not just chemical weapons that would prompt a U.S. response.
The answer is that if you gas a baby if you put a barrel bomb in to innocent people, I think you will see a response from this president. That is unacceptable.
But human rights groups say the Assad regime used nearly 13,000 barrel bombs against its own people last year alone. And an American attack in response to Syrian barrel bombs would mark a significant shift in U.S. policy. But then a White House spokesman telling ABC News nothing has changed in our posture. The president retains the option to act in Syria against the Assad regime whenever it is in the national interest. Despite the tension between the U.S. and Russia, during Secretary Tillerson's visit, we are expecting some talks of collaboration, as that's what it'll take to defeat ISIS. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
Texas is one of 15 states arguing to have President Donald Trump's revised travel ban enacted. A federal judge in Hawaii blocked the president's executive order, which temporarily bans citizens from 6 majority Muslim countries from coming to the United States. The Ninth Circuit will take up the case next month. Today, officials at 2 Austin area schools are investigating threats posted on social media. Police arrested one student from Bailey Middle School accused of making a threat toward the campus Sunday. Officials made the decision not to cancel classes on Monday. The principal sent a letter to inform parents about the incident. Leander ISD also working with authorities. They say Vandergrift High School received anonymous alerts on an alleged threat over the weekend. According to a letter sent to parents, some students reported a post that showed a fellow student with weapons. The principal says a detective went to that student's home to evaluate the situation and is reassuring families that there is no credible threat toward students and staff. Not exactly the thrill this woman was going for at France Carnival. Do you see this? Yeah, she slips out of her harness on a giant swing, hanging by just her feet. After hanging for several minutes, she was finally safely removed from the ride. But officers say her big boots saved her life. Wow, scary video there. People looking for ways to sweeten the upcoming Easter weekend and doing it in a big way. Then fighting Parkinson's disease one swing at a time. How certain forms of exercise have been shown to slow the progression of the disease.